Okay, it's October 9th, 2019. This is John Hanson. We're in Clinton, Iowa. I'm at the home of John Cooper, Johnny Cooper, as we know him from South Clinton. John and I grew up in South Clinton. And, John joined the Navy. John, when did you join the Navy?
In 65.
1965. And why the Navy?
Because I didn't want to get drafted and go in the Army and sleep in a foxhole.
What was going on back then that made you think about that? What war was happening?
What war?
Yeah,
Vietnam.
the Vietnam War, and it affected.
Conflict back then.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it a war.
was it called? And if you grew up then, in the 60s, early 70s, it had a great effect on your life, and you chose the Navy because you thought that would be a better deal.
Oh yes.
And where did you go to boot camp?
Chicago.
Great Lakes Naval Training Station.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there, and I was in the Navy, but I went to San Diego because I thought it would be warm, and it wasn't.
Had to be warmer than what it was.
At Great Lakes, yeah, it probably was. You're right about that. So, you're what are you, 18 years old?
Yeah.
And what rate, or is it rating? I can't remember right now. Did you choose, or?
No, I'm best qualified for the engineering department.
Okay.
That's all below deck.
So you took tests when you first got there, I take it, and you qualified for certain things, and it was in the engineering department.
Huh?
In the engineering department.
Yeah. That's what those sites are called, engineering department.
Snipes, okay.
That's the electricians, or most of the firefighters and stuff like that. And I was a sheet metal worker.
Sheet metal worker. And generally they refer to this as an MOS. And what was your MOS rating?
It was a ship fitter.
Ship fitter. Okay. And
That's all. We used to have cross hammers on our, but now it's all the same.
okay.
I don't remember what they changed it to.
And boot camp. Was it anything tough about it or difficult?
Well, the hardest thing for me was they kept calling me a farmer since I was from Iowa.
Because you were from Iowa.
They think everybody lives on farms, there's no towns. And I did a lot of push-ups for it.
Because they called you the farmer, and you probably didn't spend a lot of time on any farms.
No, I never was a farmer.
So after boot camp is over, then you go to your A school. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And where was that at?
That was in, I can't quite remember anymore. I think around Norfolk, Virginia was, but I don't remember. But that's where I did a lot of welding, they taught me welding, you know.
Okay.
I was qualified pipe welder and everything.
Oh, yeah. Welding was part of the training.
Yeah. That's what, repair division, that's what I was in.
Okay.
And my main job would have been, if we got attacked, to grab the steel plates and drag them out there and weld it on the plate deck where they could land and take off.
So, did you know you were going to be on an aircraft carrier?
No. Because my first tour was a riverboat.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. So, you do your A school, and now we're talking, is it still 1965?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you go right over to Vietnam?
Right out of A school.
Right out of A school. Get any time off?
I think they gave me 3 days to come home on.
3 days?
It
Wow.
was a rush for Vietnam.
Wow.
All that, they shorted boot camps and everything.
There was a big rush to get you through.
You just through to go to Nam or the ships anyway.
Did you do any partying when you came home?
My life.
You're gonna go to Vietnam and you come back to Clinton for a couple of days, huh?
What's that?
You come back to Clinton for a couple of days
Yeah.
before you ship out.
Had be in Chicago 3 days later and catch my plane.
A plane in Chicago. And did you stop in the West Coast at all, or
Yeah, we stopped there and caught another plane to take us to Vietnam.
from the West Coast to Vietnam? Everybody on board was military,
Oh yeah,
mostly Navy or mix.
they were Marines and Navy.
Okay. So everybody has this kind of story. The plane lands in Vietnam. They open the door, and what do you think?
Beautiful country.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the land is really pretty.
What, do you remember where you landed?
I think we're pretty close to Da Nang because that's where I was stationed at.
Tan Son Nhut, does that ring a bell?
I don't remember.
But anyway, near Da Nang.
Yeah, I was in Da Nang.
Is Da Nang on the coast? I can't remember.
It's pretty close to the coast, but it's up by the DMZ.
Oh, north.
Mhm.
It's northern part of
Yeah.
South Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Gotcha. And you get off the plane and they put you on a truck or a bus or something, or
I think it was a little truck. Because there was only so many of us that went there. Mostly
Navy guys?
Navy and a couple Marines.
Did you see anything that surprised you or kind of freaked you out when you're just getting into Vietnam? Getting on that truck to...
No. I'm trying to think. I think a lot of it was just the way the people lived over there, you know. The housing and stuff like that was just straw. Most of it, you know.
Had you ever been to another country
After that?
before?
No.
First time out of America.
First time I was in Clinton.
So all this was a really new experience.
Really, yeah.
And you're in an open truck? Were you in the back of an
I think
open
they just had
truck?
A canvas on.
A canvas.
That's top shelves.
Boy, that's not very secure, is it? But that's the way they did it, though, huh?
But none of us, you know, you're young and you think you can do anything.
Did you get a weapon yet?
You know, when I was on the patrol boat, they gave me a 45.
Okay.
Never did qualify with it. I probably couldn't hit that wall with it. Probably restored today. That's something.
But right off the bat, you don't get a weapon,
No.
and you go up to Da Nang, and are you there for a little while, or?
I think I was there about 3 days before I ever went out. Because, you know, we didn't know nothing. I was actually a chief engineer on as a welder wooden boat. My job was to keep it running the engines.
Okay, let me back up. Did you have any idea what you were going to do when you first got there?
No, didn't have no idea.
So there's some kind of meeting, and some guy,
They
some...
said that we need you on a river boat. So I'm thinking like the river, you know.
Okay, and is that were you on a river in the north part of South Vietnam?
Mm-hmm.
There was a river near Da Nang or whatever.
Yeah,
Up.
right on the DMZ zone.
Oh, really?
pretty much.
Wow. When I think of riverboats, I think of Mekong Delta. But that you're in a whole different world up there. Empties into the ocean, huh?
We had like, I was on a 50-foot riverboat and had 4 Cadillac engines in it.
Twin screw,
Yeah, I think so.
2 propellers. In other words,
I think it was.
four
It had 4 engines.
4 Cadillac engines. Wow.
It'd get up and go.
And this was a wooden boat. Was it kind of old or?
Yeah, it was a 50-footer.
Yeah,
It was probably way too big for where we were at.
too big for the river.
For the river, yeah, because the river ain't very big.
Uh huh. Did that?
Sometimes we go through water maybe 6 inches deep though.
And where do you, okay? So you get assigned to this boat. Do you remember any first impressions meeting the crew?
I was glad to meet him, but you know, I didn't know anybody.
You're brand new.
We wound up being pretty good friends most of us.
What happened to the guy you replaced?
I think he got shot. See,
Wow.
we just got a new ensign about the same time I got there, and he kept telling everybody they had to salute him. And the old timer said, "No, you don't want to get saluted because you're the first son of a bitch that's shooting."
You're gonna get shot if they see you're the leader. Did he calm down?
After he got shot at a few times.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't like that part because we were in areas that they could shoot at us but couldn't shoot back.
Let me back up. When you say your job was to keep the boat running,
Yeah.
did you have to learn about Cadillac engines?
No,
No. What?
I just said, keep it running.
I see. And when you went out on patrol, I'm gonna guess that's what you did. Patrol, is that what they called it? Or where were you on the boat?
I was right next to the coxswain that drove it.
So it's not like you're down below.
No.
There's no down below in that boat.
No.
You're up
Not
there.
unless you're working on the engines.
Okay, so you're up there on the deck next to the coxswain, who's the guy that steers the boat.
Right?
He's the driver.
Yeah, he usually gets shot too.
And
We had some Marines on there who had 250 calibers, one mounted on the front and one on the back of the boat, half in. And then some 60 machine guns on the sides. And then of course, Marines carried their weapons, whatever they were.
and you had a 45.
Yeah. I couldn't hit that wall with it. I never fired it.
I see. How many? I'm sorry, 20 guys on the boat,
Yeah, probably 20 or 25 there was.
and some were Marines and some Navy.
Right.
So the Marines were in charge of the guns, I take it,
Yeah, pretty much.
and Navy guys worked the boat. Got
Well, some of the Navy guys even or the M60 machine guns, you know. You had a Marine with both 50 calibers.
the 60s mounted. Okay.
I think there were 3 on each side. If I remember right.
What was were the 50s on turrets
Yeah.
And-
just swing, yeah.
swing back and forth or around and
I was always told you could never shoot a millman with a 50 caliber when they were doing it.
technically back then or toward the end of World War II, the 50 caliber was considered a anti-armor
Yeah.
weapon. Crew served,
Goddamn long.
but they use them for sniper rifles today.
Yeah.
And
Remember Elk Rider?
I do.
He was a sniper in Vietnam.
Did you see him?
No, not over there. I didn't.
So you're on this patrol boat, and do you go up that river every day, or is it more like a week, or how what's your?
About every 3 or 4 days we'd go out. But we had a lot of other ones. Every day they were boats on there.
Somebody was on that river every day,
Every day, yeah.
and different crews like yours.
Yeah.
Let me back up too, just out of curiosity. Was there like a camp or a small base
A base.
by the river
Yeah. And Denane.
in Da Nang? That's and where you guys stayed. So your first mission, first time you're out on the boat, anything happen?
No, whenever they do get shot at or nothing, so I thought this was going to be easy. The second time, no.
Second time it got hairy.
Yeah.
Small arms fire?
Yeah, a lot of small arms and I can't think of what you call them. That they plant them and you drop a shell in and part of it all.
Oh, mortars.
Mortars. Yeah, I couldn't think of what you call them. So
So,
it was scary then.
anybody get shot?
Not that time. I think about the first one we had got shot maybe about the fourth tour or fourth cruise. And we'd go out for like 5-6 hours at a time, but we didn't go by ourselves. We always another patrol boat with us. And then you had the cobras above.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you called in firepower, they'd come in.
So, for explanation, a Cobra was a small helicopter specifically designed for with armaments, with guns, and they would
Like Gatling guns on it.
Gatling guns, maybe some rockets,
Yeah, sidewinder missiles. Probably.
and they were your overhead security. And another boat was with you?
Yeah, there's always two boats that went out.
Two boats. Okay. It doesn't sound like you guys were hunting for people. It sounds like you were kind of,
I think we were
they were hunting you. I mean, it sounds like you were drawing fire.
right.
You were there and
The draw fire and then they'd come in with the cobras and
that's how they would flush them out,
yeah.
engage the enemy, so to speak.
We guinea pigs.
What's that?
Said we were like guinea pigs.
Yeah. That was a kind of strategy, I think,
Yeah, because
even for some ground pounders.
once they heard that boats running, that's when they'd come up.
Would you think or guess that your enemy was VC or North Vietnam regular?
I don't know. Sometimes we thought we had some of them right in our base with us.
Oh,
Ones that came in to clean and stuff like that.
the barber that comes in to cut your hair during the day and tries to kill you at night. We had that same feeling in Iraq.
Yeah.
Guys that we hired to do things on the base. It's always a fear that they're there for reconnaissance.
In the day they would help you, and at night I think they were fighting us.
Did you ever see any of the bodies of the guys that you shot? Did you ever get off the boat and
No,
go after them?
no. We didn't stick around very long, unless we lost one of ours off the boat, and then we just stayed there and tried to get him back up.
So engage, react, engage, and get out. Get back.
Just,
Could you turn around in the river?
huh?
Could you turn that boat around in the river?
Oh yeah.
It was big enough for that.
Yeah, in places it was.
Some places.
Most of it was only maybe 30 foot wide.
Did you guys get any casualties during your missions? Anybody
yeah, we
get?
had a couple people got killed and died.
A couple of people got killed, and you probably knew these guys by then.
Yeah. You know, I didn't know him real well because I was only out for 9 months.
9 months? Only 9 months? Wow.
But having a critical rate that the aircraft carrier needed, so when my officer said, we got a letter saying they want you on an aircraft carrier, will you take it? Oh, hell yes. If they can get off this.
And in a way, when you look back on it, was it from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak?
Not really, because my first tour on the carrier was Mediterranean cruise.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's back up. So you're on the riverboat for 9 months. You see a lot of stuff.
A lot of action.
A lot of stuff goes on, and then you get transferred to an aircraft carrier, and you go to the Mediterranean.
Yeah, our first tour.
And was that the Forrestal?
Yeah, that was 1966. That would have been.
And here you are overseas. Now you're in Europe,
Yeah, all kinds of countries.
Greece and Italy and
Italy, France.
northern Africa at all,
No,
but all through
we could see it.
the European part of the Mediterranean.
We've been up to Turkey.
Was that just an amazing amount of fun too, or?
Yeah, we only pulled in the East Port for 2 weeks.
On the East Coast?
No, overseas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you.
Like, we'd be in France for 2 weeks, maybe Italy.
2 weeks at a port? Wow. How much duty did you have on the ship?
When you're overseas, it's port and starboard.
On and
1 day
off.
on, and 1 day off.
So into France you go. So you'd never been out of Clinton,
No.
and now you've been in Vietnam, and now you're in France, and
When I went to Vietnam, we were in Philippines,
oh, you've been to the Philippines too then.
and then Hawaii.
Hawaii, Honolulu.
But we don't stay there for 2 days in each place.
Okay.
Because we had to get off the coast of Vietnam, and we leave another aircraft carrier. Because you always had 4 aircraft carriers over there.
There was always 4 over there. Had the Forrestal been in Vietnam before you got on it?
No,
No.
that's the first West Coast cruise we ever had.
So you spent, how many months were you in the Mediterranean?
I think most of the time you overseas for 6 months at a time.
About 6 months, and then eventually the party's over and they tell you
In 67, yeah, we went to Vietnam.
67. You've been in the Navy for a couple of years.
A couple years.
You've been all over the world. Now you're going back to Vietnam.
Yeah, we were the first Americans in Brazil since World War II. And their money at that time was just printed on one side. So I have no chief petty officer. He probably was in the Navy since World War I to II. But anyway, he told me to go up to the ship store and buy all the Monopoly games. I said, what the hell am I doing that for? Because I don't like Monopoly. But the money was just printed about like that.
Wow.
So we was passing off Monopoly money.
In Brazil.
Yeah.
Telling it was American money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And then from Brazil you go down
Down around it.
around the Horn, they call it, or
Yeah, I think so.
around the tip of South America, and you're going to sail all the way to Vietnam.
Right.
Does that take a couple of weeks?
No, because like we're in a hurry, then we go pretty much on a straight line.
Full speed ahead.
Otherwise they keep going big circles so nobody knows where the hell they're going.
Right. Gotcha. And once again, this is kind of amazing. You grew up in Clinton, Iowa, on the river, but you hadn't been to many places, and now you've been all over the world Plus, you spend a lot of time on the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And an aircraft carrier is not quite as rocky as like a destroyer.
Oh no. 'Cause an aircraft carrier like that one was 46 stories high, and over 1,000 foot long.
So,
When I went on that, it was in dry dock. And I thought, there ain't no way this big thing can float. You know, you take something 26 stories high.
are they practicing? I'm gonna say, I don't know if it's sorties or are the airplanes practicing flying when you're doing this?
Oh yeah.
When you're traveling across the ocean?
Well, yeah, they fly every day.
They fly every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got planes up every and that. You know, we've seen a lot of them crash, trying to land on the ship. You know,
That happened
that happened.
a few times, huh? Now, I'm going to kind of skip ahead in a sense, but during that time, was John McCain on your ship?
His plane was the very first one I got hit with a missile.
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but McCain was flying off your ship as a young pilot
Yeah.
when you were crossing the ocean to get. So you get to Vietnam. Here you are again, but now you're off the coast. And what part of Vietnam were you kind of by, or
North Vietnam.
you were up towards?
Yeah, we're up in the north end of it.
Oh, okay. South China Sea.
We were getting ready to launch against Vietnam at 11 o'clock in the morning. And at 10:55 when the fire started.
Wait a minute. Let me back up. You had just gotten there? Hadn't done any.
No. We were there about 5 or 6 days before the fire.
You were only there for less than a week,
We,
and you're getting ready to launch some planes.
like I said, the fire started at 10:55. I was way down below deck when it happened. And I was making air conditioning ducts.
Hold on one second, John. I'm gonna switch this to another setting.